So no chance of reconciliation, do you think?
I think it's understandable that that's definitely not on the cards for the time being, because in the short term, what you have to understand is King Charles is shaping the impression the entire world has of him as the successor to arguably the most universally respected monarch that Britain has had in modern times, which was his mother. And so everything, it's almost like the American presidents in the first 100 days, they say you make the stamp of your administration. You can't make a first impression twice. So King Charles III is very reticent of the fact that what he has to do now is gain respect and recognition, and for people to be able to form a narrative around just him as king. So the idea that he would change his plans and suspend a formal visit to France to fit in a meeting for reconciliation with a son that has proven problematic is preposterous, because at the end of the day, you are the king of Britain, and you can't have the narrative attached to you as a father who cannot get his house in order. That is the last thing, particularly the firm would want, because the firm's most important business is the preservation of the crown, which is far more important than he or she who wears it, because it's seen as a responsibility, not property. So that whole story, I'm not surprised they debunked it very quickly.
It has set tongues wagging a little bit, because, again, it's this idea of, well, where did this all really come from? And you see it in OK Magazine, and you see the kind of people that might be putting it in OK Magazine. And it follows up on Harry and Meghan appearing to do more separately. And there could be a load of different reasons for that, of course, many of which very, very understandable. But I wonder how quickly Harry would be accepted back into the fold if he was on his own and maybe he said sorry.
This is the interesting that a lot of people don't want to accept because feelings are so raw about Harry. I always reiterate, this fundamentally is a family and they are human. And one thing you can always say about that unit is that there is love, very deep love between them. Harry and William have a very unique experience that nobody else in the world has, which is the source of a lot of heartbreak, because in this world, no one knows what it's like to be William other than Harry, and vice versa. So there is great loss. So the desire for reconciliation is there. But the issue with why it needs time is William's feeling, because between the documentary on Netflix, between the book Spare, what Harry did was attack William as a man. You went after his fatherhood with his children. You went after his wife. You went after his integrity as your brother. You went after his formidability as a prince. You've pretty much injured a man in the most elemental way. But because you know the operation of the firm, he has no avenue for retaliation, because don't complain, don't explain. So what William is doing is nursing a lot of deep-seated hurt without any avenue for any solace or any resolve. That is fueling the pain. But as I've said when I spoke with Esther and Phil, what it will take is intervention from an outside party. And I say this because it's coming from a point of women have an ability to make men they have a connection with do things they don't want to do because they're willing to do it because they're doing it for you. If Kate can intervene, I believe she's the secret weapon to forcing William to the table, because right now he will not do it based on feeling. But she's the one secret weapon that could bring him to a table with Harry to open a conversation. But Kate has been injured as well. So until resolve is found with her, I doubt it will happen anytime
I think that's
soon.
the thing. I don't see Kate... I love the way you put that, by the way, because I think you're absolutely spot on. But I think that I don't see Kate doing that if Meghan's still in the picture, because I think there's a lot of issues at play there, and I think that's a big part of it. So maybe Kate could come round to the idea if it was Harry on his own.
I think so, which is why distance is important. And if they're clever about how they operate, being two separate entities can find a resolve with just Harry. And in time, what they should do is ironically follow the template of Camilla. Time heals all wounds. Yeah. Though she is not popular, but people accept her now. That could happen with Meghan 10, 15 years down the line.
And actually, with Camilla as well, something that I've seen, since the Queen's death, really, is that I think a lot of people appreciate the job that she does for Charles. And with it, the fact that the monarchy itself, therefore, becomes more likeable. I think there is a slight perception that maybe if Charles was left entirely to his own devices, there may be the odd defect of character there that would come to the surface that might make it harder for monarchists and royalists to continue to justify the monarchy, etc. Whereas I think Camilla keeps him in check a little bit, and people now recognise that that is a very valuable job for preserving the institution that is